People say, what happened to you? I'm like, well, I experienced the love of God. And then what's that like? It's like, well, when you fall in love with a person and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this person.
Yeah.
It was like that, but with God.
So you're in the middle of a sermon. Pastor says, Jon Tyson.
Stand up right now. I have a word from God for you. Someone I didn't really know just said, here's what God's told me, it's in your heart. And I just remember thinking like, holy crap, have you been following me around? Like, I've never told anybody this. And it was just this overwhelming sense of like, somebody was saying these things to me, but there was kind of a raw power. It's not quite electricity, but like I'll describe it as a force of persuasion of, man, this is the meaning of life. This is it. This is the stuff.
That happened before he even spoke.
As soon as he said that, I felt it, like literally come across the room and hit me.
Wow. Tell me a little bit about how you decided to become a pastor and why you went down that route.
It was all in that moment, mate. That was it.
That was it?
One and done. I came out thinking, whatever just happened to me, I want to help other people experience this. That was it. I came out as like, I didn't have the words for it. I wanted to serve God.
What's been the biggest surprise about being a pastor in New York?
How deep sin is in people, mate.
That was surprising?
Yeah, when you see it manifest, you're like, gosh, people really are broken all the way down. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of beauty, but just like how dark the human heart can be. And it's revealed under pressure, and New York does that to people.
Christianity Today recently came out with an article, something about the decline of Christianity. If current trends continue by 2070, something like 35% of folks will call themselves Christian. I don't want to say you're losing the battle, but it kind of feels like you're losing the battle.
Christianity is designed to be potent. It's not designed to be popular. Whenever the church seems to get power, it seems to do dumb things that like do the very opposite of the very things that Jesus taught. Cultural Christianity is dying. That's probably a good thing, because it's not I think a legitimate form of Christianity. It's just a cultural Christianity. It's a hangover from a nation that was founded on Judeo-Christian ethics at a time of history where that was the popular worldview, just like secularism is the popular worldview right now. At some point that dies away. It's probably a healthy thing. It's a pruning.
You're okay with the decline of Christianity?
Oh, I'm certainly not in panic mode over it, no.
Yeah.
How much in the New Testament does Paul pray for the Roman Empire?
Not at all.
That's just like very little.
Yeah.
How much does he pray for the church?
Right.
All of the time. Our focus is on being the people of God, being the city on the hill, being salt, being light, and then believing that that will have the effects that it's intended to do. But I'm not obsessed with cultural outcomes. I can't control those, and I think that a lot of damage can happen if that does happen.
If we just talk about Jesus in this current age, in an age of like TikTok and Kim Kardashian, Elon Musk, Netflix, when I talk to my secular friends, or just folks, anyone, like when I say I believe that God came down in the form of a man 2,000 years ago, crucified on the cross, died for my sins, it almost just sounds a little jarring. It's just like, what? What did you say?
Yes, it does sound strange to the ears.
It
Yes.
sounds really strange.
Well, the problem, I think, if you read Aristotle and Plato, it's at a level of genius far above any modern secular wisdom. We have all the technology in the world, and what do we do with it? We make poop emojis. And we're the most depressed, miserable people ever. All human beings are trying to answer 4 questions: origin, meaning, morality, and destiny. Where do we come from? Why are we here? How do we live? And what happens when we die? Jesus said, I have come that you may have life and have it in all of its fullness. Let those words really hit your heart. I have come that you may have life and have it in all of its fullness, or they have it to the full. John Mark Comer says, your deepest desires are not always your strongest desires. Now, strongest desires can be for sex, food, recognition, belonging, a relationship. But even if you get all of those things, you're like, there's something deeper. So I think I would say to people, pay attention to those deeper things, not just the strongest things.
When God calls us to something, he gives us that holy ambition. But then we encounter setbacks, obstacles.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes I wonder, like, God, if this is my calling, why is it so hard? Is this going to work? How have you worked with doubt in the pursuit of like holy ambition and calling.
Well, it's a part of your framework. It's true, but it's insufficient. So life is not me and God. Life is way more complex than that. Why is it hard? Okay, because there's almost 8 billion people, maybe 8 billion people on Earth. You got a lot of people trying to get what they want done.
Yeah.
Okay? You live with spiritual realities. We're in a spiritual war, so there's forces that oppose you and seek to destroy you. You've got personal sin, habits, tendencies. So you've got to overcome all of that sort of stuff. So it's a great conflict. And that's why it's so hard. I've come that you may have life and have all of its fullness. It's not a promise that things will not be hard. Jesus said, in this world, you will have many troubles. Take heart, I've overcome the world.
Yeah.
How you frame reality determines your experience of reality. And if you frame realities like God is nice and I am special, therefore life will be easy, you're living in a children's fairy tale, you're not living in the story of the Bible. If you frame it as God is worth it, life is a journey that's very contested and it's a war, and God will be with me as through meaning and sacrifice I move towards my destiny for the sake of love. It'll make a lot more sense and it'll be a lot more rewarding.
How has your faith evolved over time? You've pursued God for 30 some years now.
I think it's matured. It's friendship with God. So I have a deeper sense of an awareness of how He works. I'm less addicted to the spectacular, more about wonder than I am about impact, depth rather than excitement, contentment rather than enjoyment, you know.
What surprises you most about God?
It's patience, man. Patience with people. It's very, very patient. You know, how many times He's kind to us and we turn our back on Him, or we frustrate Him, or the Lord is slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. And I feel like I've experienced that a lot, and I'm really grateful for it.
All right, mate. Well, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you, mate.
Thank you.